Hello everybody, Blake here. I'm gonna do two videos today. The first one made some upgrades on my air system to kind of help my videos a little bit better. We'll go through that first, and then the second video will be an unboxing. Got some parts in today. We'll go through that and see what I got. But we'll kick it off here. So originally, I was just using this compressor. 1/4 inch hose. I was not really getting a lot of air through. I didn't have a lot of air to play with. The horns themselves were not getting a lot of air just because of the small hose. And then I ended up getting a little bit bigger hose. Still wasn't very good. So now ended up upgrading everything a little bit, more air capacity, more airflow, period. I had 2 1/4 ports on here. I ended up taking those straight to half and then piping it to some unions. I am going to clean this up a little bit. This is just kind of temporary. I'm going to make a nice hard connection. I'm going to level up these unions and make a nice hard connection that'll sit on there. But this is just kind of to get me going pretty quick. I'm not too worried about this anymore now that I got some surge tanks. This is basically just to kind of get some air out of the compressor a little bit quicker. I ended up putting a ball valve on here so I could just build it in the compressor, or like if I just want to use my compressor in the garage, I can undo this union and then it's its own little thing and I don't have to plug it or anything, because I still have a normal quarter hookup on there for airing up tires or whatever I want to do in the garage, run some tools, stuff like that. But I have that on there so that way I can open it straight up. It's all 1/2 inch tubing, 1/2 inch screw ends on them. 2 11-gallon tanks. Each one of them has a gauge on it. I know it's kind of redundant, but if I ever just have one of these tanks, I want to be able to know what the pressure is in the tank. Literally just slapped all this together last night, like at 12 or 12:30. Still got the plastic on there to keep the glass safe, but yeah, just basically did took a longer nipple out to a T, used some shorter nipples for my other connections, have another T to go up to my gauge. I did have to buy new gauges. These are not the gauges that came with these tanks, because they were a much smaller screw end on them and different threading, so I wanted at least 1/4, so that way it's just easier to find parts for. So that's what I ended up getting for those. But it's basically the same thing. It's all 1/2 inch hose all the way through, and then my my last end here, same thing, union 1/2 inch hose, just different color. And then that comes to my honking hose, I guess you'd call it. I am using quick connect ends. They are 1/2 inch quick connect ends. They don't really restrict the air from what I've noticed in honking with this new system and everything, so probably just going to ride with those for a little while. They're a lot easier than a union. I did try a union and I was having issues with it leaking a lot of air, so this is just how we're going to roll for now. It's working just fine. Updated my little honking tools here a little bit. My Graham White valve, I had a bunch of copper parts on this and stuff, so I pulled all that off and put just 2 new parts on that, and same thing with my 1/2 inch ball valve. Did the same thing, just have a 1/2 inch quick connect ends on both of them, and then just 1/2 inch piping on there. Cleaned up the threads really good so they can easily screw into the bottoms of the manifolds and all that. And then this Graham White is a 2-stage, so I can pull it down, get the quill, and then pull down the rest of the way and get a full honk. So do some videos sometime. You'll hear a little bit of both. I'll probably, for some of my older horns out there, probably use the Graham White valve to get that classic sound out of them, and then some of my K5HLs and K5LLAs will just use the ball valve for some good quick blasts. Yeah, so that's basically basically the air system, the updates on the air system there. Nothing too fancy, and it's clearly a lot of hose, as you can tell. There's like more hose than tanks going on here. I could have taken the time to hardwire all this and have hard connections and all that, but I just want to be able to move things around if I need to. If I need space, I can kind of move everything out of here and kind of space it out or whatever. So this is just how we're gonna ride for now. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. This just gets me a lot more air than what I was working with, because I was just going off of my 6-gallon tank, and as you know, that wasn't hardly anything. I could get a few, first 2 honks were pretty good. After that, I started to lose way too much air. But last night I tested the system, and it was prolonged my honking by quite a bit. So whenever I do get around to doing some actual honking videos, all this is set up, and you guys will actually be able to hear some nice sound coming through now. So I'll probably just make this video pretty short, just give you guys a little update on that, and then I'll cut this video, post it up, and then we will do the unboxing video next. So till next time, take care, talk to you later.